Hello, thank you for joining me. Yesterday I did a video about the true strength of a house. And one of the viewers kindly had put like a comment to say, can I do remedies for it? And clearly, every house, is ruled by a particular planet. So I'm going to give you my version of what I think has worked for me. I feel like Vedic astrology is such a beautiful thing, but even though I'm really attracted to it, at the very beginning when I started doing astrology, I was absolutely terrified because everything seems to be bad, and you think, how come there's so many difficult planets and not many benefic planets? And even for some poor, like for example, let's see, like something like Taurus, for example. Taurus ascendants, even the good planets like Venus that rules them is also the planet that actually can cause them problems because it rules their sixth house, and Jupiter then also rules their 8th and 11th house, so it's not a good planet for them. So you just kind of think that, wow, so I'm now here to tell you that this is how I've learned to deal with astrology. So Vedic astrology, what it does is makes you face things that obviously you need to deal with in this lifetime. And we all want to have we want to see that we're going to have really good spouse, we're going to have money, we're going to be happy, etc. But in the process of chasing these things, we always forget that we have also got to live and enjoy. So Rahu brings us into this world, and Ketu is what we know from our previous lives. But the two luminaries, obviously, they're very important. So Moon is our mind and happiness, and it's how we actually form relationships, emotional stability and security. It's also liquid assets as well. Sun is our ego, is our soul, is our vitality and confidence. Mars is our energy, our logic and life force. Mercury is his ability to make intelligent decisions, connect with people, our thought process. Venus is our ability to enjoy, love, and just get fulfillment out of life. Saturn is our endurance, it's our achievements, and how we actually work through difficult periods, difficult things, to just make things happen. Jupiter is our wisdom, to grow, to become knowledgeable, to become self-aware, optimism, glass half full, and happiness generally. So these are what these planets are. So all these planets are very, very important. I'm just going to go through what I feel, things that are, to do with these planets, and how, if we just concentrate on the realize what they can do, the negative things, and how we, and then I will go through the planets that I feel are the most important. I mean, they're all important. These 9 planets, the 7 planets and the 2 shadowy planets, Rahu, Ketu, they're all important. But obviously we are also got to look at the times that we are living in as well. So Moon, if it's not in good condition in the chart, even very good experiences are not good. They're always tough. Life is always tough because it's just like it's a life of feeling and not life of doing. So needs to kind of be grounded. It's always because it's always reflecting. It's always so it's always checking in. But also we need to be a little bit real about life and just realize that if we feel too much, we can't progress. And in order to, because it can be a little bit wearing on people near you, particularly in relationships, because if somebody's always coming from their point of view that they're always feeling, they're not actually doing, they're feeling too much. So Saturn is a good anecdote for the Moon. It really grounds you, because Saturn is exalted in the sign Libra, which is other people. So it's very important to check in with other people as well from time to time, because as much as your mind and memory and emotions and stability is important, but how is that impacting everybody else around you? It's really good to get real with that, because sometimes if we are just coming from the place of just feeling, there's just so much feeling involved that the rest of the chart is overlooked. So, and there could be people that we're dealing with. We've got really, really difficult charts, and they're going through really difficult experiences, and because they are not able to express themselves, they are actually then left completely, and we'll be overlooking them because we're so involved in ourselves. So that will be really working on Saturn, and having really good routines is absolutely crucial for somebody who is too much in the mind and has got afflicted moon, moon with Rahu, moon with Ketu. Really try to do the Libran things and do Saturn things. They do really well to try and have a really good schedule of work Monday to Friday, say 9 till 1, and then break for lunch, and just be really progressive during those 4 hours, 5 days a week. That will be really, really good. And yeah, I'll definitely say routine is very good. If there's too much sun, so if the sun is exalted, sun is, like with Rahu or something, Saturn again becomes the anecdote for that as well, because, it's the people with just so much ego. There's no humility, no humbleness in them. And therefore they do very well again to just do things service, which is very much to do with Saturn as well. And actually allow other people to shine, because, sometimes sun that is in good dignity is not too strong. It's humble anyway, it wants other people to shine. But yeah, it's very important not to live too much on the ego and see other people's viewpoint as well. And Mars is planet of logic. So when it is not sort of working well for us, our energy levels are low. We can be passive aggressive because we can't express ourselves. Everything comes out really wrong, and it's always like proving a point. And these people normally wait until there is an audience and somebody says something, then they start the attack, because they're not brave enough to do it on their own. They just jump on another thing and they suddenly really, really cut you short. Then they can be very rash, brash and blunt. So it really can come from a very illogical Mars. And they can actually lose their temper as well. It can be quite hot-headed. So, like their blood just kind of boils, that kind of feeling. So anecdote for a difficult Mars is Venus. Is to always remember that the opposite to that is Libra. To just be fair and listen to other people's viewpoints as well. And also Mercury as well, because Mercury is planet of self-expression. If Mars cannot self-express well, if it's in a difficult Avashta, it can actually then be really harsh, and they can use it can almost be a little bit like they can use things, even words, as weapons. Everything becomes like a weapon to them. Mercury is planet of self-expression, friendship, having fun, lightness, and so when it is too when it's not working well, it's too scattered. It's just collecting too much information and not really applying it properly. It can be a little bit too gossipy, because it's just be like always on their mobile phones, always seeing how other people are doing, having an opinion on other people's lives, and to the point that they just busy doing nothing, because it's all about like every minute of the day they're on their phones, like just information, social media, want to be involved in everything, want to have a comment about everyone, and the comments can be quite difficult as well, because Mercury is planet of jealousy. If it's in difficult situation, it can create lots of jealousy, and it can exhaust the person. They literally they can't rest, because it then affects their 12th house of rest, and it's, Mercury is debilitated in the 12th house. So, there we go. There's a planet of intellect, really sort of being able to sort of discern things, and it can't discern anything. It's just becoming involved in all the everybody's business, just having a little poke at everybody's business, trolling or whatever, and it's just what they do. They make their own life really, really difficult, because now they have had these opinions of things, and they're going to start getting enemies, and that's going to just like create this like difficulty. And really, so yeah, and so for Mercury, really, it's actually Mars becomes a little bit like, it's just like logic, and Saturn, just trying to calm it, ease it. And Venus also, Venus is exalted in the 12th house, because it gives you, just, why would you want to do that? Just be kind to everyone, be kind to yourself, self-love. And Venus, too much Venus, difficult Venus, can be like too much into sex, too much into like just escaping addictions, issues like that, and just like going from one bad relationship into another one, never working on self, and overspending. So thinking that love and happiness is all about like that, another purchase, and these people can end up having loads of things in their wardrobe they have never even worn, and expenses, get themselves into debt, and when a relationship finishes, they're absolutely devastated, because they absolutely put everything into that, because there is no self-love. So when the relationship goes, they're just devastated. They not being able to see the wood for the trees, attachment to people, they attach to people too quickly, or maybe through sex, and then when these people are gone, then they're just like, life is just really bad. And it's all about issues with self-love, acceptance, and all of that. And because of that, they always got issues with money as well, because obviously Venus is all about money too. And their environment can be quite messy as well. So it can just be like cluttered, hoarding, they need to tidy their car, tidy their home, and just clean their eating and stuff like that. All those things that helps Venus. So, and then the money comes in, because obviously Venus also rules money. Saturn will be like laziness. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Somebody else will do it. Everything is tomorrow. Others will look after me. Government will look after me. Always unhappy, and don't like other people achieving as well. That if people are doing well, they're not really happy for them. Life is hard. Life is a struggle. Work is hard. Work is struggle. And I'm not saying they're not, but at the end of the day, we have to all pull our socks up and just deal with life. You can't keep going like saying that it was my parents' fault, it was this fault, it was my boss's fault, it was my relationship's fault. When am I going to take notice of what I'm doing in this? And then we have Jupiter. So if Jupiter is like in difficulties, just too much preaching, like you should do this, you should do that. I told you shouldn't do this, having a say, I know best, have a say on everyone's relationships, everyone's things. And it's always their truth, yeah. And so too much preaching. So this is where things go wrong. And so I'm saying all these things as well, because obviously I have been through a lot of them myself, and I can see in other people, when you do readings and everything else, you see that. And in the jobs that I've worked in my career and my businesses, it's very, very important to reflect on life and just see what is my contribution to this. Often when people go through a breakup or divorce, it's very easy to point fingers. I know I know the reason why I was divorced. I was so focused. I have a very, very strong Saturn, and it's all about doing the job. It's all about working hard, and it's got, I got Saturn and Mars aspects. So I'm always finishing jobs. I'm always starting loads of things, always finishing. I'm so dedicated to that I can really miss all the beauty of life, all the Venusian things that I need to work on. So I've had to work on those things because my relationship, I think it was the right thing that we divorced. But I can understand that despite everybody really saying, oh, why were you married to him and everything? But I also was at fault because I was not very present. I was always working. So the balance of my 10th and 4th house was very, very bad. So the planets that I feel in this day and age, I feel Saturn is important. We all need to work on Saturn because he's dealing us all our karma. So we need to be doing that. We also need to be doing Rahu because that is the reason why we are reincarnated in this lifetime. So we need to do Rahu things. And Rahu is also all about technology, so we can't avoid it. We are living in the era, in the lifetime of Rahu, so we have to embrace it with all the difficulties of scamming, of people putting social media things up that are, oh, this amazing life everybody's living, which they're not, all these addictions, all this gossip, and all of this, the lies and everything else. Lies. You don't know what you're listening to. Lies on the news, lies on, all these very, very Rahu things happening. So we have to discern and actually see what is real. So Rahu is definitely what we need to be going towards, but we need to do it with caution because it also rules thieves, scammers, liars, and it's a shadow planet. We don't really see it properly. It's creating an eclipse wherever it's sitting. And if it's sitting with any planet, we need to work on that planet because it's creating an eclipse on it. So, particularly for men, I think men just got to realize if they have Rahu and Sun together, they really don't know their soul. So what they project into the world is not real. And for a woman who, and also that would also apply if Rahu is 10 houses away from your Sun, you're getting to know yourself, and what we project into the world is not necessarily real. It's very, very important. This can create very, very difficult relationships for the women. I would definitely say if you meet a man with these two placements, be very, very careful. It's really painful to the women because these guys can absolutely lie because they believe their lies. They've lived a life like that so long, they don't know what is real and what isn't. So I really urge any guy, I think, most guys who do astrology, they're self-aware anyway. I don't mean those sort of guys, because they're watching these videos because they want to improve themselves. But that would be I would be very cautious of that. And obviously Rahu Moon eclipsing the moon, the mind, what you are seeing, what you want to see is not necessarily real, can cause very difficult things. These people always want to be famous, noticed. It is difficult. So definitely. So Rahu can create all those things, all those issues with any planet that it sits on, any planet or any house that is connected to or aspecting as well. It's very difficult. The two planets that I think we can all do with is, I am a big fan of Mercury. I think Mercury is planet of self-expression. If you don't really know yourself, how could you express yourself? Everything that we do every day is about relationships. Relationships with your family, with your children, with your spouse, with your friends, with your siblings, with your colleagues, with your neighbors, with everyone. If you don't know how to self-express, if you don't know yourself, which I urge people to always do that, get to know yourself, journal, just do that. What do I like, what I don't like. I think sometimes when the ascendant ruler, they're really weak, or they have aspects by the nodes. These people don't really know themselves, so they can actually take on traits that are more true to other people and think that will be me without even knowing. So don't, you got to push through those eclipses. You got to get to know yourself. You got to start self-expressing. I know I go on about this all the time. You got to do that. You got to learn to talk, say what you feel, how people make you feel, how you feel that situation made you feel. Not in a nasty way, but just the more you work on Mercury, the better you become at that, The more you'll be able to, your thought processes will become stronger and healthier. All the things, when you get stuck, you don't know what to say, you feel as this time has come to say something to somebody who's been pushing your buttons too long. Go for a walk. Mercury rules that. Go for a walk. Write down and make sure things that you say, they're not personal. You just want to keep it to the point, and how that phrase or that action, that's how it made me feel. So important to do that. When you express yourself really well, you're more likely to get promoted at work. You're more likely to be liked and be invited to social gatherings. You're more likely to be, people will want to sort of share experiences with. You just get more enjoyment out of life, 100%. So that can actually lead you to better jobs, better positions, better friendships, better connections, everything. So to me, Mercury is the most important planet, and I have done afflicted Mercury videos before, because it can cause mental health issues when it's connected with Moon, and I definitely urge people to work on Mercury, because also we are in the era of information. It rules information, it rules data. Discerning, when you read things, is it a Rahu thing I'm reading? Is this real? Just being able to analyze that, just so important. I can't tell you how important that is. The moment I start working on my Mercury and be able to sort of express myself, I've had much better relationships, much better friends. I've attracted better friends. I've just been happier. I've got more hobbies, more interests. I'm much more active. I've traveled more. I've written more. It's just been amazing. I think it's amazing, particularly if you've got children. Really get them to self-express, get them to join clubs where they can do like activities with friends, amateur dramatics, singing groups, dancing groups, activities outside where they have to put tents up, cups, clubs and things like that. Just absolutely amazing. Just building fantastic relationship with people you got things in common, and then you're more likely to find your spouse through that as well. Isn't it lovely to have, particularly if you've got Venus in 3rd house or Venus in the 11th house? Oh my gosh, to have somebody you got share enjoyments with, wonderful. The other planet is Mars. If you're not brave to deal with life, you really need to work on Mars. Mars is just amazing. Mars, it's your logic. When Mars is in a difficult situation, you're not brave to deal with them. You're just pushing things under the carpet all the time, not dealing with them, and then they come out, and then it can come out like a passive-aggressive person. You've been holding on to so much over the years. When it comes out like 1983 you did this, 1987 you did this, and people are thinking, well, why didn't you say, because I can't deal with it. So it's very important to tackle things bravery, being brave and expressing yourself. Mercury and Mars, despite the fact that they're not friends, they both have got a lot to do with 3rd house of self-expression. And you self-express first of all to your siblings. That's the very, very first people that you have to actually say, that is my toy. You've touched my toy. You've broken my toy. You upset me. So yeah, definitely. So you want to, you know, how you deal with Mars is you can just start doing sports activities with other people like volleyball or tennis, things like that. Join running clubs, and tackling those sort of things. You know, martial arts is really, really good for it as well. So to me, those, when you do those faster moving planets, if you work on them, they just give you fruits, you know, and just have an idea of who you are, what you like. You know, I always think journaling is good to just and above everything else as well, it's like respecting, like Venus, respecting other people's views and self-love. That, you know, it's, you know, obviously Mercury works so well with Venus. Mars really needs Venus's help as well. And when we do these things and self-express and we're brave to say what we need to say, we then get the relationships we deserve in life because we've worked on ourselves. We're not going to take the problems from one relationship into the next. I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Please comment on anything that you feel you want me to do videos on. Thank you.